Welcome to The Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah.
My name is Paevey. I am an actor, and today I think we're going to talk about my most recent film for Hallmark Channel, Don't Go Breaking My Heart, that I shot with Italia Ricci and a whole bunch of other really talented folks, and it was a blast. And in this particular case, this film started as Breakup Boot Camp, and then the name was changed fairly recently, I think. While it was being filmed and edited and put together and stuff like that, it was still Breakup Boot Camp. So I don't think the song is actually going to play, but if it does, that would be super cool, but a surprise to me. One of the things that I like most about this is the journey that I think all of the characters take, but obviously I played Ben. So to set the film up, in case those of you out there don't know, it's basically a breakup boot camp run by Dr. Miranda Faraday. And it's designed to help people kind of get over a breakup. And I play Ben, who shows up to this thing alongside his sister. I'm going there to kind of like be moral support, having just been broken up with myself. But Ben's doing the classic dude trope of I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And one of the things that I like about it is watching Ben's journey to his admission that perhaps he's not fine, and that maybe there is something of value to be gleaned from this class, you know, to focus on yourself and admit that you're feeling these things and deal with those feelings and be a grown up about it, you know, be honest with yourself and address these things. It's okay. So I think his journey towards, admitting that to himself and the healing that comes thereafter, I think is really cool and relatable. Yeah, well, like I said, I can definitely identify with maybe tail end of the film, Ben, and his desire to focus on the things that he feels, be honest about those things, and to kind of become a better version of himself, because that's kind of the place in my life where I'm at. So I think that's something that, you know, we can all kind of take value from, which is to be honest with yourself about the things that make you tick, the stuff that bothers you, the stuff that doesn't, the things that motivate you, and to align with those things in a fashion that you can kind of be the best version of yourself, constantly improving, learning new stuff, trying new things. Like, yeah, so I can identify with that personally. Can't say that I've ever attended a breakup boot camp myself. That being said, I would loosely categorize it as therapy, which is something that I believe in wholeheartedly. As far as the dating scene goes, yeah, I mean, obviously, dating now is different than dating was, you know, when your folks met or something like that. You know, we've got online dating and all this other stuff. So I think it's a bit of a slippery slope, but I feel like as long as everybody's honest with each other, you'll be fine. When you do a film, there's kind of like left brain stuff and right brain stuff. The right brain stuff is the fun things that you get to see, the art, the performance, and stuff like that. And the left brain stuff is kind of the less boring things to talk, or the more boring things to talk about, like memorizing your lines, hitting your marks on the day, and all the technical stuff that goes into making a film. And it was really cool to have somebody that could do both of those things. And also something I think that was unique about this was we would have, like from day one, kind of her idea, and a good one, sort of like collaborative meetings where we'd like kind of do our homework and run our stuff for the next day and see if there was a way, you know, to get it out loud with the two of us and make it a little bit more us. And I don't know. So that was fun. It felt very like team oriented and collaborative, which was cool. There's a bunch of fun activities in this film. So I would definitely have to say we spent some time on an obstacle course that was super fun. And I'm definitely a liability in spaces like that. Like, you can't leave me unsupervised. I'll go climb something. And then we had another day where we shot in a rock climbing gym. And I love rock climbing. And so does Italia, actually. So we had fun that day too. They even let us kind of putz around a little bit, I think, in between sets and stuff. So not enough to, like, you know, impact our schedule for the day. But I mean, it was so fun and we had the place to ourselves. So those were definitely my two favorite days. Well, aside from the fact that I think they're just going to enjoy the film, again, if we want to go a level deeper, I think it's cool to watch a bunch of people like really kind of being honest with themselves about the things that they feel and finding kind of healing together. And two in particular, maybe finding love. So yeah, I'm really excited for everybody to see it. Well, I'm going to go back to one of my other answers. The rock climbing thing was super fun. Like it was a cool day in Ryan's life to wake up in the morning and be like, "What are you going to do for work today?" I think I'm going to go rock climbing. You know, casual. It was cool. And again, like if you leave me unsupervised, I'm going to get into trouble. So we had a bunch of downtime on that day in between setups where they would just let me climb, and we get to do some top rope, which was cool. And so I really enjoyed that. I love being outdoors, man. If it wasn't for, I mean, like I have a little side biz on the side where I make jewelry and things like that. If it wasn't for my time in the shop or my time on set, I would be outside doing stuff all day, every day, all the time. God, what did I watch? I watched What Women Want the other night with Mel Gibson. I don't know if that categorizes as a rom, or if that qualifies as a rom-com, but that was pretty funny. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was pretty funny. 10 Things I Hate About You is pretty funny. 10 Things I Hate About You is pretty good. Let's go with that one. I'm into that. So I was on General Hospital when I started all this stuff, and I just kind of missed working with my hands. I had a bunch of downtime during the day. Studio work like that is a little bit different because they shoot so much stuff and they have so many characters that, like I would show up sometimes for blocking in the morning, which is, where we figure out all the movements and stuff like that at like 7 o'clock. But I might not shoot until like 11:30, so 4.5 hours. And so it started as a way to just kind of like work with my hands. And there was a gal on Instagram that I saw. I think her handle is Oksana Crafts or something like that. But she was doing wire wrapping with copper and a stone called labradorite, which is really spectral. Turn it and it catches the light. I work with it a fair bit sometimes. And I just remember seeing it and being like, I have no idea how you do that, but that's really cool. And I'll bet I could probably figure out how to do it if I putzed around for long enough. So I did. I just kind of started making, I still wear some of the beginning things. I just started making little bracelets, and then the wire work started. But all of that was sort of leading me to the stuff that I make now. Is I always wanted to work with silver. So that's what I do. Like before it was wire work. There's no soldering or anything like that. It's just pliers and wire. But now I got all kinds of stuff, hammers and anvils and torches, and I'm in there all the time, just making stuff. So it's kind of cool. It's another creative outlet, I think, to express your creativity and make art and work with your hands, and it's cool. I like it. Acting is a strange profession, and I grew up in a not that house. Like my dad was in construction, my mom was in human resources. You clock in, you clock out, you did your job and stuff like that. This is a way for me to kind of bring a little bit of structure back into my life. I wake up in the morning, I have breakfast, I go to the shop, I log some hours, I make sure that I'm productive while I'm in there. Like it's I don't know, it brings balance to my life, I think. And it's fun. Yeah, I have my own website. The company's called Fortunate Wanderer, like Lucky Traveler. And we do big releases once every couple of months or so. It takes me some time to build up a whole bunch of stuff because I'm always trying new things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'll be in there for 6 hours and I'll try a bunch of things, and at the end of the day, I've made nothing. But I tried and I learned some stuff. So usually we just got over a release like a couple of weeks ago. I'll spend the first few weeks to a month or so after a release just trying to learn new stuff, take some chances when I'm less under the gun to produce another big collection. It's okay if I try and make this thing and I spend 6 hours doing so, and then I have to melt it at the end. It's okay because I'm learning here. So yeah, you can find it all on fortunatewanderer.com. We're a couple of weeks past a release, so you'll see a lot of sold out signs on the website. That's okay. It's perfectly normal. Still a few things laying around, and I am hard at work all day, every day, making a new big batch of stuff, which will probably be out in a month and change or so. I don't know, but get on the mailing list and you'll learn all about it. I didn't get into this in the beginning with any intention of selling this stuff at all anyways. I literally, like, back in the day when it was just the bracelets and the wire and stuff like that, it was just arts and crafts, man. I just wanted to make stuff. I just felt like utilizing my hands and my downtime to create things. And now, obviously, many, many years later, and, due to, I would say, an improvement in things that I make and fan interest and things like that, it is a business, but it's still very much a creative exploration for me. So rather than take on customs and things like that, that become homework assignments, I make what I want to make because it's exploratory for me, and like my style of making things right now might be totally different than the stuff that I'm going to make in like 2 months or something like that. Who knows? But right now, I'm very much enjoying working with silver, and I have amassed a very, I don't know, an enormous collection of stones and all this beautiful stuff. So I'm really excited about the stuff that I'm making these days, and about some things that I'm going to try to learn how to do as well. So I don't know, it's fun, and I like it this way because it's exploratory and it's an expression. And I try to learn something, maybe 1 or 2 different techniques every release, something new. It doesn't get stagnant or stale or anything like that. I'm always trying to learn new stuff, make things better, get better at polishing, get better at carving, get better at soldering, get better at forging, get better with the hammers, get better at texturizing stuff. I don't know, just so that there's, that the trend is positive. We're getting a little bit better every time, better materials, better chains for the pendants, just learning, all the time. I have never set foot on the Australian continent, and I would love to go. Like, not just set foot. I want to spend some time there. I like to surf. I love the beach. I'm a big outdoorsy person. I'm a huge science, nature fanatic. Like, I like bugs and all that stuff like that. Ever since I was a kid, I would love to just vanish there for like 6 months, just wander around and meet people and go for a surf and have a beer and, like, I don't know. So yeah, Australia has definitely been, Australia and New Zealand both have kind of been on my mind for a while now. So greenstone from New Zealand called pounamu. It's a species of nephrite jade. It's really, really pretty. There's a story up on my Instagram of a piece that I made for Ron Oliver, who's the director of Timeless and many, many other things. But that's one of the films that he and I did together. And I made a piece because he's very, he likes tiki a lot. So I ordered a piece of nephrite jade of the pounamu greenstone from New Zealand and made him a piece for his birthday. So there's a video when I was in quarantine in Canada shooting that film where I kind of gave myself an accountability post. So I told everybody, I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to make this thing. So you guys are going to hold me accountable, and you'll get to watch me make it too. So you'll see all the steps and how it's created and things like that. It's 2 last names, actually. Paevey is my mother's name, and Vlieger is my father's name. I believe Paevey is like English, and Vlieger is Dutch Indonesian. Well, it's a Dutch word, but my dad's side of the family is Dutch and Indonesian. I've got an ancestry thing over here waiting for me, so I'll be curious to see what it is. Because it's one thing when your family tells you, like, oh, this is where your grandpa's from, and blah, blah, but then it's another thing when you take one of these tests and come to find out maybe that's not where your grandpa's from. I don't know. So I'm going to take that test. I'll be interested to see what it comes back with.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.